Group 1. Therapeutic. Recreation Foundation. Worksheet 1. Submitted by Precious May Maningat, Ana May Alejandro, Imperatriz Reyes. Ethics. Ethics is most familiar to the field of therapeutic recreation in the form of principle. Applying ethical principles within a process of moral decision-making is regarded as a fundamental professional competency. Ethics is the study of moral phenomena. It involves investigating the nature of morality and the principles that govern moral evaluation. Is concerned with what is good for individuals and society. Refers to the rules of conduct that people use to determine when an action is acceptable or not. Ethics deals with such questions at all levels. Its subject consists of the fundamental issues of practical decision-making, and its major concerns include the nature of ultimate value and the standards by which human actions can be judged right or wrong. Ethics is not a matter of factual knowledge in the way that the sciences and other branches of inquiry are. Rather, it has to do with determining the nature of normative theories and applying these sets of principles to practical moral problems. Why does ethics matters? Ethics matters because 1. It is part of how many groups define themselves and thus part of the identity of their individual members. 2. Other regarding values in most ethical systems both reflect and foster close human relationships and mutual respect and trust. 3. It could be irrational for a self-interested person to be moral, because his or her self-interest is arguably best served in the long run by reciprocating the moral behavior of others. Ethical issues. Ethical issues are concerned with what is right and wrong, good and bad, and how we use that information to decide our actions in the real world. What happens when you want something, but it's not right? How do you choose between right and wrong at that moment? Ethical. Unethical. An ethical issue is a problem or situation that requires a person to choose or situation that requires a person to choose between two options, where both options are morally wrong. Ethical issues can be divided into three categories: personal, professional, and social. Examples of personal ethical issues include whether or not to take your spouse's last name after marriage and how much money you want to inherit from your parents when they die. Professional ethics refer to the right thing for a particular profession such as teaching, accounting, law enforcement, etc. medicine. Social ethics have to do with the values and beliefs within society. Ethical issues. Definition. An ethical issue arises when a situation demands moral principles to be considered, evaluated, and applied to determine the right course of action. It often involves choosing between competing values or priorities, where the decision can impact individuals or society. Example: Internet censorship. Censorship can protect individuals from harmful content, but it also risks infringing upon freedom of speech and freedom to access information. The question becomes who should control this and how far it should go to prevent misleading information. Types of ethical issues. There are three main types of ethical issues. Utilitarian, focus on the consequences of an action. Deontological, focus on the act itself. Virtue, focuses on the character of the person acting. Virtue ethics believes that people should do what is good because it is good in its own right. Virtue ethics looks at what someone's intent is behind a decision and the moral fiber of their being before making any judgments about their behavior. It also focuses on the traits that make up a virtuous human being as opposed to trying to pinpoint specific behaviors as good or bad. How to handle ethical issues. There are many ways to handle ethical issues. The first step is to identify the issue. Once you have identified the issue, you need to gather information about it. This can be done by talking to people who are affected by the issue, researching the issue, and/or reading about the issue. After you have gathered information, you need to decide what course of action to take. This may involve taking a stand on the issue, trying to solve the problem, or raising awareness about the issue. Why do we need a code of ethics in healthcare? Because lives are at stake, the healthcare profession requires a strong ethical framework to guide decisions about patient care. Healthcare practitioners who are equipped to address ethical considerations can make compassionate, fair, and effective choices for their patients' treatment. Ethical issues in healthcare can be challenging. Healthcare providers prioritize patient well-being, which can sometimes mean respecting patients' wishes they may disagree with. Healthcare professionals dedicated to upholding ethical decision-making to improve patient outcomes can consider an advanced degree to help guide their career journey. Ethics in healthcare is what guides the work of professionals in the healthcare industry. These considerations are an essential component of providing healthcare, as they help ensure practitioners treat their patients with dignity and respect and that the decisions made by healthcare professionals are fair and just. Additionally, ethics helps to promote trust and confidence in the healthcare system, as it ensures that healthcare professionals act in their patients' best interests. Benefits for patients. All of the ethical principles benefit patients by guaranteeing respect for their autonomy and equitable treatment, and that they will receive the best care available based on their beliefs and decisions. This has the effect of allowing the patient to trust their healthcare practitioner without reservation. Healthcare can be invasive, and without the promise of beneficence, many patients will delay seeking medical attention. Benefits for practitioners. The core ethical principles are designed to benefit patients, but that does not mean the guidelines do not benefit healthcare workers as well. Having an ethical framework to follow allows healthcare practitioners to talk candidly with patients and their families about end-of-life care or quickly inform their patients about their emergency care choices. Here are a few ways practitioners can benefit from ethical guidelines. In situations where practitioners may run into ethical disagreements with patients, their families, their caregivers, or even other staff, practitioners can recommend a solution that places the patient's care first. Having guidelines to support one's decisions allows for one's conscience to remain clear, as ethics will help dictate what the best decision should be for the ideal outcome. By having an ethical framework that encompasses an entire facility, healthcare workers can feel assured that their coworkers are operating with the same intent as they are. This allows for easier communication between coworkers, fewer misunderstandings, and a greater sense of mutual trust in each other's decisions. Ethical guidelines help practitioners find the least obtrusive and most beneficial solution to a patient's issue available, reducing the chance of risky or unnecessary procedures and treatments. The idea of non-maleficence extends to patients and colleagues in the healthcare field. Healthcare personnel can feel their workplace is safe, and administrators can work to mitigate and alleviate stress as much as possible. And this is the end of our presentation. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope you found this presentation informative, useful, and insightful.